Hello and welcome to Street Talk, your voice and your views on the issues in the news, coming to you from London. As controversy continues over Turkey's accession to the European Union, the country's Prime Minister, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, says he'll meet with German and French leaders to persuade them not to block the country's EU bid. But with 70% of Europeans opposed, we took our open mic to the streets of London to find out what some Britons think.
Absolutely, I think Turkey would be a brilliant addition to the EU, not just in terms of land space. It would be great in terms of culture, in terms of trade as well. And Turkey is known as the gateway to Asia, so it would also help strengthen any ties that the EU has in Asia as well. So I think it would be a great entry.
I don't know what sort of compromise Turkey should do, but I think Turkey is a moderate state, moderate Muslim country, and NATO is already a NATO member. So I think Turkey is trying his best to cope with the modern community.
I think they should come, welcome, bring more money to England. And I like going to Turkey. Well, I haven't been yet, but what I've read, more money the better. Bring them in.
Well, as world leaders continue to debate the issues, we took our open mic to the streets of London to find out what Britons would do if they could be leader of their country for a day.
I think we should set an example of a peaceful country, and we shouldn't be engaging in these wars around the world. Instead, we should set a good example by being peaceful and refusing to engage in these kind of things that don't really concern us.
I think it'd be nice if people from Britain could feel safe when they're walking down the street or when they're on the bus and they're going about their daily lives.
I think if I was in charge of Britain, I'd make absolutely sure that the people who are in charge of Britain weren't as indecisive as I am.
Well, now on to our Street Talk segment, Punchlines, where we invite Matt Wuerker, the editorial cartoonist at Politico.com, to have a look at some of the interesting cartoons around the world. This is what we had a look at this week. Matt, great to have you back, and we're talking elections on this occasion.
I thought it would be interesting to look at elections because there seems to be a changing of the guard going on right now around the world. There's a lot of elections everywhere from Kenya to Moscow to Pakistan to actually starting here in the United States as well. And we're starting out with a somewhat somber cartoon taking a look at what's happening in Kenya, the tragedy that was sparked by an election in Kenya and all of the violence that's going on. This is by a Mexican cartoonist.
Yeah, Dario Castillejos.
Who's from Oaxaca, which has also had a fair number of problems with elections recently. And it's very moving, I thought.
Now, the next one have Vladimir Putin, of course, the complaints that Dmitry Medvedev will be a puppet.
Yes, there's elections, and there's many different kinds of elections, and some have lots of change, and some have less change. And this is by a French cartoonist who's from Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it captured the kind of change that the Russians are seeing in their democratic process right now, or not.
Now, the next one, again, this fantastic style is, I remember Jack Davis, the cartoonist from Mad Magazine, and this style reminds me.
We're all very much influenced by Mad Magazine, and Jack Davis is one of the titans there, too. And yeah, this is by Adam Ziglis, a young cartoonist out of Buffalo here in the United States, making a fairly tough point on Pakistan, which I thought was really well done.
And we've got to only investigate this woman's killing, and of course there's democracy in the back, the suffering, and Bhutto's picture in the front for Scotland Yard to have a look at.
Yes, democracy is a fairly tough thing. I mean, I was thinking of the what's the quote from Winston Churchill about it's the worst system we have,
but it's all we've got.
Yeah.
Well, this last one here, thanks for bringing one of yours here. Of course, looking at the U.S.
Yes, this is one I did for Politico this week. Of course, this week was the beginning of the U.S. presidential election, and we have this archaic thing that starts out in Iowa and then moves to the snows of New Hampshire, and it's really democracy at its most simple. So I was commenting on that. Here we are in Iowa. The most advanced political system known to mankind begins the process of choosing the next leader of the free world, and we have these poor folks walking out, and she's saying, if you don't hurry up, we'll be late for the caucus at Enid's, and the tuna casserole will be cold. And he's going, you sure you don't have the car key?
Matt, great to have you with us, and talk to you again very soon.
Thanks, Riz.
Thank you. And that's it for this edition, coming to you from London. Don't forget to keep pointing us towards anything interesting or amusing for Street Talk. What you see here isn't necessarily the view of Al Jazeera, and some of the content may be edited, but for time and space reasons only. And that's the talk on the streets of London.